Hey everyone, this is Chris here, and today is January 28th, 2022, and in this video, we're going to be discussing whether or not Andre Agassi's win at Wimbledon in 1992 was the most impressive victory at a Grand Slam level in the last 30 years. Now, before we get into this video, I'd like to encourage you guys, if you're new to this channel, to please take a minute to hit the subscribe button down below. That'll keep you notified of any time we release additional content like this. And also, if you enjoy videos like this, then please be sure to share this video with your friends. All right, guys, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so this is a pretty interesting topic that I came across on the Talk Tennis forums, and I wanted to start this video off by talking about the draw that Andre had back at the 1992 Wimbledon Championships 30 years ago now, which is really hard to believe, but in either case, so for the first few rounds, Andre had players that he was competing against that were primarily baseline-oriented players. Off the top of my head, I know he had to face Derek Rostaniel in the third round, and I think the other players that he faced might have been Chesnikov, Andrei Chesnikov, and players like that that were a little bit more oriented towards a clay court surface, so to speak. But after getting through the fourth round, he had to face Boris Becker. That's right, Becker, one of the toughest players to face on grass during the 80s or the 90s. And he took Becker down in 5 sets. You know, Becker's a classic big serve volley player, very tough to beat from the baseline. It was a huge win for Andre to get past Becker. And then he's got to face McEnroe in the semifinals. And once again, he takes McEnroe down, the former champion, in 4 sets. Now, or maybe it was actually 3 sets. Fooled myself on that one. Now, the thing is with McEnroe, he was a little bit past his prime at this point. This is 1992. John McEnroe at the time was 33 years old. So he's not the same player that he was 10 years earlier. You know, he's not still winning Wimbledon anymore. But he's got a game style that's perfectly suited the grass, and he's one of the best players from that time period still. And then moving on to the finals, he's got to face the huge serving Goran Ivanisevic. And Ivanisevic had the biggest serve in the game back in 1992. It's a big, powerful, strong, left-handed player. And I really can't understate how tough and how difficult Ivanisevic's serve was. Players really had a hard time reading where it was going, and even if they could, and Andre attested to this in his book, they couldn't get the ball back because he hit it so fast and so accurately, they just couldn't really get a racket on it. Now, Andre manages to take him down in 5 sets, and another thing I wanted to mention on this was that Ivanisevic was the player that actually beat Sampras in the semifinals, and this was the year before Sampras would go on his amazing run to win 3 Wimbledon titles, and then after 96 he would win an additional 4. So Ivanisevic was quite the good player on grass. Now, would I consider this to be the most impressive Grand Slam achievement in the last 30 years? If you look at the players he faced, I would probably lean a little bit more towards no. However, this is an important point. Andre was able to win this tournament from the baseline. Okay, now this is back in the days when grass courts were really fast and players pretty much had to adapt their style to fit the surface. So if you were a baseliner, you were going to have to serve and volley. If you wanted to do well at Wimbledon, you really couldn't win there without doing that. If you go back to Bjorn Borg and even Yvonne Lendl, they had to serve and volley to make the finals at Wimbledon. Of course, Borg was able to win it 5 times in his career. So it wasn't a surface where they could just play their normal game, kind of like you can today, and you could just remain competitive with whomever. You know, the surface doesn't really matter that much, so to speak, because it's kind of all the same. It's homogenized, if you will. It wasn't like that back then. So, in my opinion, It's an amazing accomplishment because Andre really did not have the playing style to do well at Wimbledon, yet he was able to make the finals and win it his second time playing there, or third time playing there, I guess. So it's an amazing accomplishment in and of itself that he was able to adapt to that surface that quickly, even despite having not played it at all from 1988 through 1990. So yeah, I would have to say it ranks up pretty high because of that. Would I give it top billing? I don't think I would, but I would put it probably in the top 5, to be honest with you. I think I would consider that victory to be a top 5 level quality. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you at the next one.